folks, it is time for science. This is your screencast for Tuesday 4/21 and Wednesday 4/22. So we're going to be introducing the naming of molecules. So I have a little bit of different setup. This is the agenda I post every week onto Schoology. I figured I'd just use this to kind of show you what we're doing for the day instead of making a whole new document. Anyways, we still get the same point across. I can still talk about what we're doing. So today you're going to be working on the naming handout. And then you're also going to be working on the naming and balancing equations PhET. That's a big part of that big PhET lab with 9 different PhETs that you'll be turning in at the end of the year. On the front side is notes, and on the back side is some practice. That back side with the practice is what you'll expect to turn in at the end of the day today. Of course, all assignments are due by Friday, just in case you have technical issues. And then only other thing to worry about today is doing that attendance question. So let's go hop into Schoology and take a look at what that actually looks like for you. So we're going to go and scroll down and hop into week of 4/20/2020. It is grayed out right now, but it will be published for you by the time that you're seeing this. So we have our attendance question first. Get that done really quickly. As usual, just kind of check in on how you're doing. For the assignment today, we'll go into here and you'll see 2 things posted. Number 1, you're going to see the actual PowerPoint, which is going to go through all of those things for you. And then you'll see a link to the practice in case you don't have it in your packet. The other thing you'll see of note is just underneath this assignment, you'll see a link to the balancing equations PhET. The instructions kind of walk you through how to get to it otherwise, but if you want to just a quick click on the link and get into it, you can just click on that and it'll take you right to that web page. So let's take a look at that PowerPoint. So you're going to need the naming note taker, that is number 5 in your home packet. We have some shortcuts that we talk about when we're talking about when we're bonding, what do we call molecules. Most notably, the INE at the end of molecules will turn to an IDE. And then we have these things called polyatomic molecules, and we just have tables of those, and these are special molecules that have a charge, and they're made up of more than one element. Another thing you'll see is prefixes. So depending on how many you have, you're going to have a prefix. For example, dihydrogen monoxide, di is our prefix for hydrogen, 2 hydrogens, and then monoxide means we only have 1 oxygen. And it sounds scary, but it's just water. And these videos right here link you to a couple of funny videos about water and how it's, quote unquote terrible. People get freaked out because it sounds like a chemical name. All right. The next part is the notes, and then these will go through when you actually are kind of playing through and clicking through the PowerPoint. You'll actually see this step by step, and I recommend going through it bit by bit instead of just having it all out, because then it can be really, really overwhelming. And there's a couple of examples. So for example, we have SF6, is it covalent? Yeah, it's over here on 2 elements on this left side. That's something we talked about last week, where if we have an element that's a metal and a non-metal, that bond is going to be ionic. If we have 2 non-metals, then that's a covalent bond. So, since we have a covalent bond, we just name it using Greek prefixes, and we don't use mono. So it'd just be sulfur hexafluoride. And this goes through, has you go through a couple more practices with formula to name, and then we go from name to formula. So if we're going from name to formula, how can we figure out what that actual letters and numbers combination is? So it's just a quick flow chart to kind of help you out. If we take dihydrogen monoxide, yes, it contains Greek prefixes. It means it's covalent, so we use prefixes to write the formula. Di means 2 of hydrogen, so H2, and mono means 1, so 1 oxygen. That means we have H2O. Couple more examples as you go through. And then the very back side of the page is you're going to be filling out the chart using the rules you just learned. You'll turn it in via Schoology, and you only need to turn in the back side. I don't necessarily care that you did all the notes. That's great. You need to do the notes in order to understand this. But if I'm just looking to see that you understand how to do naming, all I need to see is this back side. And you'll take a picture of that back side and be able to show that you understand this. The answers are included on the PowerPoint, and this is very similar to last week. These are here to make sure that you know what you're doing, you've kind of checked it, and you understand your work, but it's not necessarily something that you should just copy, right? If we're just trying to use this to make sure you understand, I want to make sure that you actually understand and not that you can just copy something. All right, FET project, this kind of walks you through how do you get to the actual FET, what should you be doing. Big thing is completing the balancing game, and it kind of walks you through and teaches you how to get through it as you go through. And there's a little bit of a walkthrough here onto what you can expect. You can't change any of these little numbers. You have to make the numbers of each molecules equal by only changing the front number. So, this naming activity is today. Tomorrow, you're going to be working on the balancing equations activity in the bonding test study guide. I recommend if you already kind of finished the naming activity and you find yourself with a little bit of extra class time or homework time to start working on the bonding test study guide. You don't need to have completed the bonding equations in order to, balancing equations in order to start this and kind of get a little bit out of the way before Thursday or Friday. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye.